Welcome to the lesson on graphs. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to describe different types of graphs. If you open any newspaper or magazine today, you will surely encounter graphs in some form or the other. A graph is a visual display of some data. In most cases, the data exists in the form of a table. In many cases, the table itself is displayed. However, the same data displayed as a graph often creates more impact. A graph also makes it easier to understand or interpret the data that is being presented. When you interpret a graph, you can compare values and spot trends in the data. There are many different types of graphs. A bar graph is shown on the screen. A bar graph is useful for comparing values over time, such as the price of gold over the years. A bar graph consists of a series of rectangles or bars. A different bar is used for each year. The height of a bar indicates the price of gold for a particular year. For example, the price of gold in the year 2004 was $540. The bar graph is also useful for comparing values between groups of items, such as the price of gold and the price of platinum over the years. In the graph on the screen, each year has two bars, one representing the price of gold and the other representing the price of platinum. Such a graph is called a double bar graph. As you can see from the graph, the price of platinum in the year 2004 was $800, whereas the price of gold was $540. Let's look at a slightly different type of graph called a histogram. The histogram on the screen shows the distribution of students of different heights in a class. Each bar represents an interval, a range of heights rather than a particular height. Notice that the bars in the histogram touch each other because there are no gaps between the intervals. A histogram is therefore useful for showing distribution of data over intervals. Another common type of graph is the pie graph. The pie graph on the screen shows the sales for motorcycles, scooters, and mopeds as a percentage of the total number of two-wheelers sold in 2005. The area of each sector of the graph shows the percentage sales for a particular type of vehicle. As we can see, a pie graph is useful for showing the proportion of each data value to the whole. Yet, another type of graph is a line graph. A line graph usually shows a visual comparison between two quantities using a series of line segments. The line segments are joined end to end. The graph on the screen shows how the temperature in a city varies over 24 hours. Here, the two quantities are temperature and time of the day. Notice that the line graph has been drawn using 6 temperature readings, recorded at 8 a.m., 12 noon, 4 p.m., and so on. Although there are no readings for other times, the graph still gives us a fair idea of the temperature throughout the day. For example, the graph suggests that at 6 p.m. the temperature was somewhere between 18 and 20 degrees. The line graph thus allows us to observe trends easily.